Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer. If you're a digital marketer, the topic we're covering today is probably keeping you up at night. The search landscape is shifting literally beneath our feet. If you're still just leaning on traditional SEO, well, it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. We're going to break down exactly what you need to do to keep your brand visible in 2026 and honestly beyond. Let's kick things off with a pretty terrifying reality for anyone relying on web traffic. Think about this number, 60%. Over 60% of searches now end without a single click. Just let that sink in for a second. The majority of the time someone types a question into a search engine, they never actually click through to a website. That classic user journey, search, browse, click, it's completely short-circuiting. So where are all those clicks actually going? Well, users are getting their answers directly. Whether it's from a featured snippet hogging the top of the screen, an AI chatbot spitting out a perfect summary, or just a smart speaker chilling on the kitchen counter. Voice assistants like Alexa and Siri are dishing out instant satisfaction, and they are totally bypassing the need to visit traditional websites altogether. What this basically means is that traditional search engines, as we've always known them, are kind of dying. The old days of just optimizing a page, crossing your fingers, and hoping to climb up those 10 blue links on page 1, yeah, those days are fading fast. Relying just on classic keyword ranking simply won't cut it anymore. The whole ecosystem has evolved, and if your strategy doesn't evolve right along with it, your brand is quite literally going to disappear from the conversation. So, to build out a solid framework for modern search visibility, here's our roadmap. We'll look at how fast search is changing, the shift from SEO to AEO, the rise of the generative engine, what AI ranking factors actually look like, and finally, your new winning formula. All right, part 1. Search is changing fast, and we're looking at the evolution of visibility. Search has officially fractured. We've moved way past basic index crawling, where Google just matches some keywords to a web page, and stepped into this highly complex web of generative responses. Today, we're dealing with direct answer engines that synthesize information completely on the fly. The destination for the user isn't a website anymore. The destination is the answer itself. Moving right into part 2, from SEO to AEO, we are entering the fast lane. So what exactly is AEO? Answer engine optimization is really all about capturing what we call position zero. This is when Google, Siri, or whatever smart device you're using displays or speaks your answers straight to the user. Like if someone asks, hey, what are the benefits of mangoes? AEO is what makes sure your exact summary is what the user hears or sees instantly. No click required, sure, but you win that ultimate brand authority and visibility. It's a game changer. Now, this demands a pretty precise tactical shift from your content team. To actually pull off AEO, you can't just write these broad, generic articles anymore. You've got to target natural language questions, the what, how, and why queries. You absolutely have to inject structured data, like FAQ and how-to schemas, straight into your site's code so the machines can read it effortlessly. But here's the real kicker. You need to format your answers into tight, punchy 40 to 60 word summaries. That right there is the statistical sweet spot for getting picked up by voice assistants. Plus, keeping things conversational hits all those critical EEAT signals: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Okay, section 3. Enter the generative engine. Let's meet the new AI brain trust. And that brings us to GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. Now we're talking about the big players, platforms like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Claude. GEO is crucial because the objective here is completely different. It's not just about driving immediate click-through traffic to your product page anymore. It's about becoming this foundational, trusted authority that these massive AI models explicitly reference and cite when they build their answers for users. Basically, you want your brand to become the literal source material for the AI's brain. Which leads us to part 4, ranking factors for AI. What exactly are these systems looking for? Well, think of AI models as really hungry but super picky eaters. First up, they're looking for exceptionally high content quality. We're talking original insights, real expert opinions, and actually researched data, not just regurgitated internet fluff. Next is semantic relevance. AI maps out entity relationships and hunts for deep topic clusters. It wants to see that you actually cover a subject comprehensively. They also lean heavily on authority signals. Think author credentials and industry brand mentions. And of course, don't sleep on the technicals. Your site still needs to be fast, it still needs to be mobile-friendly, but above all, it needs an AI-friendly structure. If you want a machine to read your content, give it clear headings, concise paragraphs, and super scannable lists and tables. Make it completely effortless for the AI to parse your brilliance. When you break it down side by side, notice how the goals completely shift across these three pillars of modern search. SEO is all about getting you on page one of traditional search engines to drive traffic. AEO targets that position 0 for instant visibility via voice and snippets. And GEO? GEO is hunting for AI trust and citations right inside large language models. The user journey is fundamentally shifting from clicking a link to getting an instant answer to interacting with an AI-generated synthesis. Honestly, understanding this matrix is the absolute key to modern digital marketing. All right, final section, part 5, the new winning formula. Let's talk strategy for 2026. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is this exact mathematical breakdown, because you can't just pick one of these strategies and ditch the rest. You really need a hybrid approach. For maximum visibility, the recommended split is dedicating 40% of your resources to foundational SEO, because you still need that baseline organic traffic, right? But then you allocate 30% to AEO to capture voice and snippets, and the final 30% to GEO to ensure you're being actively cited by the next generation of AI models. It's a complete three-pronged attack. So consider this your action plan. It's going to require a real dedicated revision of your strategic roadmap. Because if your brand doesn't adapt to this balanced 40-30-30 approach, if you're not implementing structured schema formats, writing those tight 50-word summaries, and publishing deeply authoritative AI-ready content, you seriously risk becoming totally invisible to the modern searcher. The robots are the ones curating the internet right now, and we've got to start speaking their language. I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Take a hard look at your recent digital strategy today and ask yourself honestly, are you writing for actual human curiosity, or are you just feeding an outdated algorithm? The search landscape of 2026 isn't some distant future, it's already here. And if you aren't optimizing for the answer, your brand might already be a ghost. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. We'll see you next time.